Let's start with Class 8, Science Chapter 1, Crop Production and Management. So here we'll go topic wise and let's make it clear so that it's easy to understand and memorize. So what is agriculture? The branch of science that deals with growing plants and raising livestock for humans is called agriculture. Livestock means like the goat, sheep. So basically, it is a branch of the science where we talk about growing plants like paddy, wheat, bajra, mustard, etc. So once again, the branch of the science that deals with growing plants and raising livestock for human is called agriculture. Next is crops. Either we can call it crop plants or crops. So this refer to a large scale cultivation of the plants of the same kind in a field, for example, rice crop. So if we set an example, if we plant just one papaya plant, we can call it a plant. But in a field, we take something like 20 papaya plants, we plant it, then we can call this crop. It's easy to understand. So in a traditional Indian farm, you will see lot of paddy plants. So all together, it is called as a crop. So once again, crop refer to large scale cultivation of the plants of same kind in a field. For example, rice crop. So the important words are large scale cultivation and same kind. You have to remember these two terms, so it's easy to write or memorize. What is cultivation? The process of preparing the land and growing crops is called cultivation. So to plant, we use plow, or nowadays we use tractor, and then we put manure, might be water, then we have to level the land. All together, it is called as cultivation. So the definition is process of preparing land and growing crops is called cultivation. So first part what I said was the preparation of the land. Then you have to put the seeds or the seedlings, and then it grows of its own. So two things to remember here: preparing land, growing crops. One more time: process of preparing land and growing crops is called cultivation. Now, where do we grow those? So we grow those in a field. So normally we'll call a land, patch of land, but field is something meant for agriculture. Field is also meant for cultivation. So a land where plants are grown or cultivated on a large scale is called field. The key words to remember here are land, cultivation, large scale. So combining these three words or terminology, you frame the definition of a field. Two types of plants based on where they grow. Meaning, is it planted by man or it grows of its own? So there are two types. One is cultivated plants. One is the other is wild plant. So cultivation, we already studied about that. Plants grown by the farmers in the field. Wild plants, you might see it from the birds, shootings, or by the wind, or by the insects. The seeds, they go grow from one place to another, and they fall on the soil or on a tree bark, and then it grows. So it is called as wild plants. Man does not interfere in the growth of the plant. So wild plants are plants grown in nature unattended by humans. So one more time, two types of plant based on where they grow. First one is cultivation of the plants. Sorry, cultivated plants. Second is wild plants. Two type of crops based on season. Earlier we studied about the plants where they grow. Now we are studying based on season. So broadly classifying, there are two types. One is rabi crop. One is kharif crop. So rabi you can remember as winter. Then they are grown in October to November, harvested in March to April. So if you count from October, November, December, January, February, March. So roughly 6 to 7 months. So likewise, you remember, just remember October, then add 7 months, it becomes March. So October to November, then March to April. So example of rabi crops are wheat, gram, pea, potato, barley, mustards. Basically, how you remember is during the summer, what is harvested. I remember in that way. So if you see, people will be going on vacation to sell the cultivation. So those kind of crops are called rabi crops. So planted in winter, sorry, growth in winter and harvested in summer. So let's memorize it. Rabi crops are winter crops grown in October to November, harvested by March to April, and then the examples. The second category is Kharif crops. They are summer season crops. They grow in between June to July, harvested September to October. So June, July, August, September, October. So roughly 5 to 6 months. So how I remember is we receive rain or monsoon during June and July. And then what are the crops planted? And then they will be ready for harvesting by September to October. So examples are like rice, groundnut, maize, soybean, cotton, johar, pulses. So if you notice, let's make a difference to memorize. Rabi is called as winter crop. Kharif is called summer crop. This is rabi is planted during October. This is uh, on June. Kharif crops. Rabi is harvested by March. Kharif is harvested by September. So the question can be twisted and asked, What factors would you consider when deciding which crops to plant for Rabi and Kharif season? So, like said, Kharif. Kharif are summer season crops. So, if we consider a Kharif crop, what should be the criteria? In summer, we have high heat, high humidity, and we need heavy rainfall because it is summer. Lands will be dry. That is why we need more water because the lands are dry. Remember it this way. And uh, now, what are the factors? Kharif crops are rain fed. You don't take the river water or the dam water or the canal water. Uh, Majorly, it comes from the monsoon. Monsoon means rain. So, Kharif crops are rain fed. A farmer must look at the long range of monsoon forecasts. So, in news or meteorological departments, you will have the information like will the monsoon be good this year, or is it heavy, or is it very light? If the weather forecast says there will be not be enough rain, it is smart to change the plan. Instead of planting rice, which needs massive amount of water, you should plant maize or millets. These crops can grow well and survive even with less water. So, the question again, what factors would you consider when deciding the crops to plant for Rabi and Kharif crops? So, if we take Kharif, it is a summer season crop. Summer means high heat, high humidity, and heavy rainfall. So, the critical factor, we look at the forecast, weather forecast. If monsoon will be good, then we go for plants like rice. If the monsoon is not that good, meaning there will be very less rainfall, then you go for the plants which require less water, like corn and millets. Now coming to rabi season or rabi crop. So we said that the rabi crops are winter season crops. So winter means low temperature, low humidity, minimal rainfall. So again, what you need to consider is moisture and irrigation. Residual moisture means what is the moisture left out on the land or the soil. So rabi crops rely on water left in the soil for monsoons, from monsoons or artificial irrigation like wells, canals. Okay. So um, what are the examples we uh, learned here? Wheat, gram, pea, potato. If we take a table format into consider and just to remember good or in an easy way, what is the impact of climate change on crop production? How does it affect the timing and the crop production of kharif crops and rabi crops? So if you see, we have categorized like kharif, which is monsoon, rabi is winter. So traditional way is steady rain from June to September, dry October, and then Rabi is like long, cool, long winter from October to April. Climate change disruption. If the climate changes, so there are chances like even summer we might get heavy rainfall, and in monsoon we might not get rain. So that is what it is talked about. Delay in monsoon start intense floods, unseasonal rain during October harvest. Impact on food production. Crops drown or rot in the field, lower nutritional quality in the rice and maize. That means if intense floods comes, then obviously the field will be totally in water. That is when the rotting of the crops happen. Coming to rabi crops, delay sowing due to late monsoons, sudden intense heat waves early in March. Terminal heat stress, cereals, wheat, mustard grains drastically lowering yield. So, what is the effect? So, baseline, you remember that if something does not fall in line, production will be less. Now, there is some keyword called produce. So, the question is, how is crop different from a produce? Crop we already discussed, like same kind of plants in a field, whereas produce is the product obtained from the crop. So, plant, when you it is a singular term, plant, when same kind you are putting multiple plants in a field, it is called crop. And what you get out of the crop is called produce. That is the meaning. So let's put in a definitional way. Crop refers to the large scale cultivation of the plants of the same kind in a field. For example, rice crop signifies the exclusive cultivation of rice plants within the field. If you have time, you can write this sentence, or just refer crops refer to large scale cultivation of the plants of the same kind in a field. Then the product which is obtained from a crop is called produce. The next one, crops cultivated in month of October and November. So we already discussed what is cultivated. So let's go to that section. It will make uh, the life easy and easy to understand. What is cultivated in October and November? Let's go to the previous section. So here we have discussed, let's see, wait, cultivated in month of October to November. So those are Kharif crops. So cultivated, or the other word is harvested. Okay, that is what I was uh, looking to show you. So memorize this. What is cultivated in October to November? Those are Kharif crops. What comes under Kharif crops is rice, ground, maize, soybean, cotton, jowar, pulses. Okay. Why do we need to cultivate crops on large scale? So common sense is, if you just plant one paddy plant, you will, after cultivation or harvesting, you might have handful of paddy, but you need to feed your entire family. Think in a farmer perspective. So now you need to put in a farmland. So rather than one plant, you will grow multiple plants, and that can range to one or two farm fields. Now, once your family is fed, you have other requirements. So older days, what they used to do is they will sell out their production from the farmland. So whatever is required for their family, they will keep it. Rest they will sell it out. It can be in terms of money. It can be of the barter system. Barter system is right. You give me dal, I will give you rice. Then later stage it came like money. So there will be a value for certain kind of crops. So let's put in this way: if you go to a store or vegetable market, mango is 100 rupees per kilo. So it will go 10 or 20 plus minus. So but that is the range. So that is where you sell the mangoes, get the money. So now, when you do for a larger scale production, now think of India. It is the uh, most populated country in the world. Then we have to feed the entire population. So what we do is we produce the crops in a larger scale, or we plant the crops in a larger scale to get a heavy production. So here the points are: feed a rapidly growing population, ensure there is enough food available to prevent shortages and stabilize prices worldwide. So the second meaning is there will be natural calamities. Now, if you have seen, there might be the modern wars. There can be situations like COVID where people cannot go outside. So assume those conditions. Secondly, why gold is costly? Why diamond is costly? Because the production is very less. If gold and diamonds are lying on the road in a large scale, the value will be not that high. It will be very less. It will be equivalent to a stone. So, to ensure there is large quantity of supply, which will stabilize the prices worldwide. So, second point is that. Third point is mass cultivation reduces the cost of the crop. So, meaning if you just plant one papaya tree, your effort will be only for one papaya tree, and for that you put manure, you use tractor, or you use field laborers, whatever it is. But imagine if you just plant two papaya uh, plants there, the effort will slightly increase, but it will not be double. So likewise, if you put the maths into picture, if I take a plant, take a farmland, and then I hire a tractor and then plow the land, get two, three workers on a rent, and then pay them. They put the effort for the entire farmland. So that reduces the cost. So let's summarize. We need to cultivate crops on a large scale. There are 3 points. One is to feed the rapidly growing population. Second point is ensuring there is enough food to prevent shortages and stabilize prices worldwide. Third point, mass cultivation reduces the cost per